What's up, you guys? It's Susan Morad right back here on Clever News, and very soon The Weeknd is set to make his Super Bowl halftime show debut. And aside from the massive hits he will be performing, fans are especially eager to see who he might bring out on stage as a special guest. So let's get into it. We've been counting down the days until The Weeknd for quite some time, and no, we're not talking about the day in which the biggest sporting event of the year falls on. We're talking about the chart-topping, record-breaking star boy that is The Weeknd and his halftime show debut. That's right, you guys, it isn't just the athletes who've been gearing up for the big day, but the performers as well. Back in November, it was announced that The Weeknd would officially be touching down in Tampa Bay as the performing headliner in the Super Bowl's iconic Pepsi halftime show on February 7th. Since the announcement, more interesting facts have been divulged about the performance. Just last week, The Weeknd caught up with Billboard and teased, quote, "We've been really focusing on dialing in on the fans at home and making performances a cinematic experience, and we want to do that with the Super Bowl." So much so that his manager Wassim Sal-Slaby revealed that he dropped $7 million of his own money to, quote, "make this halftime show be what he envisaged," on top of the initial production costs. In the same interview, The Weeknd also revealed that the length of his halftime show is slated to be 24 minutes long, which is double the length of any show in the past. For reference, back in 2016 when Beyoncé shared the halftime show stage with Bruno Mars and Coldplay, the show was only 13 minutes long. That said, with 24 minutes and not one artist currently busy touring on the entire planet Earth, the odds of guest performances are pretty good. So, who's set to surprise upwards of 100 million viewers alongside Abel? Despite his biggest hits including Blinding Lights, Can't Feel My Face and The Hills being solo tracks, one of The Weeknd's biggest collaborators is fellow Canadian Drake, who is strongly rumored to be making a cameo. Some of their biggest collaborations include The Zone and Live For, and Drake's 2011 album Take Care might as well have been a dual album with the amount of collaborations on it. The two have performed together on multiple accounts, so it makes sense why Drake is on fans' radar. However, he did just postpone the release of his sixth studio album, Certified Lover Boy, after revealing he's focusing on recovering from a knee surgery, so maybe don't put all your money on Drizzy. Future is also a heavy favorite, who also lent his voice on multiple collaborations with The Weeknd, as fans are already speculating a surprise performance of Low Life. Many are even going as far as to predict that The Weeknd will bring both Drake and Future on stage, as they could perform their recent collab, Life is Good. Never say never, right? Another artist heavily rumored to make an appearance is Doja Cat, whose recent hits have found their way nearing the top of the charts over the past year. More recently, Doja even jumped on a remix of The Weeknd's single In Your Eyes, and since the halftime show announcement, the two have been heavily rumored to be taking the stage together come Sunday night. One user tweeted, "Imagine Doja at the Super Bowl for In Your Eyes remix. She would eat so well. Please, Lord, make it happen." Another heavily rumored artist that may take the Super Bowl stage Sunday night is good friend and two-time collaborator Ariana Grande. The two first teamed up back in 2014 for Ari's hit single Love Me Harder, and more recently dropped off the table from her latest album Positions. But fans are convinced that Ari will make a surprise appearance based on one major hint. Late last month, The Weeknd unveiled a highlights compilation CD of all of his biggest hits, and fans were quick to notice that he had included Love Me Harder. Although the single was one of Ari's biggest hits to date, it's a little strange that it would end up on his highlights album, which caused even more buzz about his Super Bowl lineup. One fan tweeted, "Reportedly, Love Me Harder is on the set list for The Weeknd's halftime show at the Super Bowl? If he doesn't perform this song with Ariana, I'm gonna flip." Others are even convinced that the entire highlights album is in fact the track list for the Super Bowl. Like this person who wrote, "If this is the track list for the Super Bowl, does that mean Kendrick and Ariana will be there?" Not to mention, Ariana is a Florida native, which just so happens to be the location holding Super Bowl 55. So this could definitely be a possibility. And because people believe the highlights album could be the performance track list, Daft Punk and Kendrick Lamar are also speculated possible special guests. And finally, this one might be a stretch, but based on The Weeknd's many comparisons to the late Michael Jackson over the years, some rumors have even surfaced surrounding a potential hologram appearance by none other than the king of pop himself. People have even gone as far as to place bets that MJ will be incorporated into the halftime show one way or another, as some fans are all about the idea considering Michael's influence on Abel. This person tweeted, "I feel like The Weeknd is gonna do something crazy for Super Bowl, like do a Michael Jackson hologram because he was such a big inspiration to Abel, and he was the king of pop and now Abel is. He is going to do something wild, I know it." Whether the king of pop makes his return to the Super Bowl stage or not, there is no question The Weeknd will put on a spectacular show. So if I were you guys, I'd start mentally preparing like really yesterday. Grab your popcorn because this is going to be a show that goes down in history. And to see why The Weeknd felt attacked after being snubbed by the Grammys, click right over here for another clever video. Then be sure to let me know who you think or hope The Weeknd might bring out on stage for the Super Bowl halftime show in the comments section below. I'm your host, Susan Morad. You can find me on Instagram at Susan_Morad. I'll catch you later. Bye guys.